Settle in now, wherever you happen to be sitting or lying right now. That is exactly right. And you may find as you allow your eyes to close that there's a kind of relief in that. A small, quiet relief. As though the eyes have been working hard for a long time. Closing them now is like settling, setting something heavy gently down. Somewhere, not far from here, there is a river. You may not have seen it yet, but it's there, moving in the way that rivers move, which is without effort, without argument, finding the lowest ground, following the shape of things, always downward. Always towards somewhere wider and more still. And as I describe it to you now, something in you may begin to feel this way towards that image, not forcing anything, just allowing the mind to drift in the direction of water, of movement that requires nothing from you. Breathe in easily and breathe out. And as you breathe out, notice how the body softens just a little on every out breath. The way the riverbank softens after rain, not collapsing, just releasing what it was holding. Your shoulders may have been a little higher than they needed to be. They can come down. Now, relax. Your jaw may have been holding on to something, and it can let go. And the belly, that deep center of you, you might notice it beginning to move a little more freely now, as though as something there has been waiting for permission to open. Maybe it finds that permission now. Relax with this breath, with this one. The river moves, not because it is trying to, not because it is somewhere important to be, but because water by nature always finds its way, always settles, always moves toward that place of greatest rest. As you breathe, you might begin to notice that something in your body is already doing the same. Not rushing, just moving in the direction of ease. And there are places where the water slows. wide, dark pools that collect behind great stones, where the surface barely moves, and where if you looked into the water, you might see the sky reflected perfectly, without a ripple to disturb it. You might find yourself drifting toward one of those places now, your mind like water, finding the slower current, moving out of the rapids and into something quieter, something deeper, something that has been waiting still and patient. Just a little further downstream. And the deeper you go into that stillness, the more you may notice a quality of weight, a pleasant weight. Your limbs beginning to feel the way where earth feels, heavy and rich and dark and completely at rest. Your legs heavy, your arms heavy, the back of your skull resting where it rests. Softly like a stone that has finally settled on the riverbank after a long, long journey. And the sounds around you, if there are any, they're simply the sounds of the river moving. They don't require anything from you. They can be there, doing what they do while you continue to drift deeper into this wide, dark, perfectly still pool. And there is something remarkable about water when it is truly still. It becomes transparent. You can see right through to the bottom, to the sand and the smooth stone, to the simple truth of what is actually there underneath the surface. And perhaps resting here, something like that begins to happen in you. A clarity, a settling, the surface of the mind becoming so quiet that you can begin to sense what lies beneath. All of the noise and readiness and holding. What lies beneath, you may find is something very simple. Just you here, breathing, safe. Now, relax. There is something this river knows that you may not have been told. Water always moves downwards. That is its nature. It does not pool in high places by choice. When water collects somewhere, it does not belong. Somewhere too high, too exposed. There is a reason. And it could be a stone in the path, a channel that got blocked somewhere upstream, something that redirected the natural flow. And the water does not know if it is misplaced, it only knows it arrived somewhere, and it only knows it was following the path it was given. You may have noticed over the years a certain warmth that rises, a heat that gathers in places where you did not ask for it. The face, the neck, the chest. Warmth that arrives uninvited. It announces itself in moments when you most wanted to be invisible. That warmth was following a channel cut perhaps a long time ago. Maybe someone noticed, someone pointed. When the body learned in one unguarded moment that being seen was something to survive rather than to simply be. And so a diversion was built. The warmth, the energy, the blood flow. That's right. The nervous system responding to what it had understood as danger. It was rerouted upwards to the surface, to the face, because the body was trying its own faithful way to do something, to signal, to respond, to protect. It did not know it was making things harder, only knew the instruction it had been given. But water, when the stone is gently moved, it remembers, finds its way back to the natural channel, down through the chest, down through the belly, down through the legs and into the ground, following the oldest instruction it was ever given, which is simply flow downward, find the lowest place, rest there. And as you breathe now, you might notice something beginning to shift. A sense, perhaps, of warmth beginning to soften and spread. Not dispersing, simply redistributing. Moving the way water moves when the path opens up again. Down through the neck, down through the chest, into the belly. That warm, wide, resting place, settling like a river reaching the floodplain, spreading out, slowing down, finding its level. And further still down into the hands, which may be beginning to feel warmer now, heavier, into the feet, grounded and real, connected to the floor beneath you, warmth pooling there, where it belongs, where it's always belonged. And the face, the cheeks, the neck, perhaps a little cooler now, perhaps a little lighter, as if something that had been held up there for a long time has finally been allowed to come down. The river is finding its course, and somewhere, deep in the part of you that does not think in words, something is being remembered. Something older than the old fear. Older than the moment when someone made it mean something. The memory of moving freely, of warmth in its right place, of a body that can be present in a room, visible in a room without needing to defend itself from the simple act of being seen. And rivers reach the sea. They don't arrive suddenly. They widen gradually. The banks grow further apart, and the current slows, and the water, which was once rushing and urgent and narrow, becomes something broad and deep and unhurried, something that can hold a great deal without being disturbed by any of it. I wonder if you can find yourself now, somewhere in the future. Not far, just far enough. A room, other people, the particular kind of moment that used to catch the body mid-breath and send that water rushing in the wrong direction. And in this version of that moment, you are standing somewhere near the estuary. The water is moving slowly. The ground under your feet is wide and solid. And when attention turns your way, when someone speaks to you, when eyes find yours across the room, there is a moment, just one breath long, where the river simply continues, not rushing upward, not pooling somewhere wrong, just moving downward through the chest, through the belly and into the ground beneath your feet. The warmth going where it has learned to go. And your face is simply your face, present, open, yours. You may notice in this scene that there is a space in your chest that wasn't there before. Room to breathe, room to speak, room to be looked at without bracing. And the curious thing about standing in that kind of space is how ordinary it feels. Not triumphant, not dramatic, just ordinary. And the ordinary ease of a body that has learnt to no longer anticipate danger. You are visible here, fully visible, and the water is moving downward the way it always wanted to. Spend a moment here in this scene, in this body, in this version of yourself. This version of you has always existed, quietly, waiting for the channel to clear. Your subconscious, unconscious mind is taking note of all of this. Not the words so much as the feeling, the quality of it, the texture of ease, the groundedness of the feet, the coolness of a face that is simply a face, present and unhurried in the company of other people. And that is being written in now. Relax. In the deep old language, the nervous system actually understands. And you gently begin to move with that river back toward the surface, back toward the room you are in, carrying everything from the deep water with you, everything that shifted, everything your body has just learned to remember. And in a moment I will count from 1 to 5. With each number you will find yourself a little more awake, a little more present, until by 5 you are fully back, clear, rested, grounded, noticing how good you feel. 1. The river shallows, awareness beginning to expand outward. 2. The sounds of the room becoming present again, light returning behind the eyes. 3. Your fingers, your toes beginning to remember they are there. Any gentle movement the body wants to make, allowing that. 4. A fuller breath now, more wakefulness with it, bringing back everything from beneath the surface, intact and real. 5. Eyes open when you are ready. Take your time. Notice if you can see how your body feels right now in comparison to how it felt when you began. Something may be different. It may be quiet. It may be subtle. The river does not announce itself when it finds its course again. It simply flows. Before I leave you today, I want to mention 2 things that can take this work further. First is my book, Beyond Blushing. It covers the full psychology of erythrophobia, the shame and anxiety loop that keeps the pattern locked in, and practical tools for unwinding it. Available at my website markstubbles.com and on Amazon. The second is my online course, Easily and Quickly Stop Blushing with Hypnotherapy and NLP. Hypnosis recordings, NLP techniques you can use in the moment, and a complete system for retraining the response at the unconscious level. Details can also be found at markstubbles.com. I know this territory personally, and I know that the river finds its way. If you like this video, found it useful, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. And the more you listen to this recording, the more you'll notice its positive effects. Thank you and goodbye.